It's finally here and I can finally talk about it. Let's get into it. Hey, how you doing, guys? Derek here from M1 Realty. I'm the broker owner, founder of the company. Started with a laptop on the third floor of an office building in 2014, and today M1 Realty is the #1 real estate firm in the city of Ferndale, and I've got an all-star team of agents. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, invest, rent, whatever you need, we've got you covered. So if you're not new to this channel, you know that we have a mortgage company, M1 Mortgage Lending, that started right about the first of the year. If you are new to the channel, hey, we started a mortgage company called M1 Mortgage Lending, and we're able to provide incredible service for our buyer clients. In fact, we're privy to a lot of programs that are like kind of pilot programs from major lenders that a lot of other mortgage companies don't have access to. So one of those programs, we've had it for a couple months now, and it just got rolled out. I don't know if it's nationwide or statewide, at least statewide, got rolled out last week, and it's absolutely incredible for first-time buyers. And if you're in the mortgage world, if you haven't had a mortgage in your name in 3 years, you're considered a first-time buyer, so congratulations. And what it is, it's a program through Freddie Mac, and what it is up to $10,000 of down payment assistance for first-time buyers. And there are a few stipulations to this. It has to be in certain areas, although I would say the majority of the Tri-County area does qualify for this program. And on the buyer side, you have to have at least a 620 credit score. A little bit higher than that is definitely preferable. There are some income requirements as well. I think you're only allowed to make 85% of the median income or of that zip code that you're in, or at least the zip code that you want to purchase in. But if you do meet those criteria, you are in business, because this is a fantastic program. Now, this isn't to be confused with the MSHDA down payment assistance program that's out there, because that's definitely available as well. I think this one has an advantage over MSHDA, and I'll tell you why. MSHDA is also up to $10,000 of down payment assistance, and that can be used for down payment, closing costs, the whole 9 yards. It's literally, I've closed several of these in the past couple years, and I have yet to have a client that needs to bring any money whatsoever to closing. In fact, the first MSHDA mortgage that we ever closed was actually my client now is an agent here at M1 Realty, and when we closed his deal, he literally had to bring 15 cents to closing. So it's no BS. So when they say $10,000 down, you're not bringing anything to closing. We just closed one, this Freddie Mac program, closed one a couple weeks ago, and this is extremely rare. I've only had to do this a few times ever in my 20-year career. I actually brought a check to closing for the buyer. I gave her deposit back, so she actually got a check back at closing, plus got a house, nothing out of pocket. It's that easy. But before I get myself off track, where this has an advantage over that MSHDA program is MSHDA technically is a loan, but the longer you live in the house, the less of it you have to pay back. I think it expires after 7 years of living in the house. But if you're in a situation where you have to sell, say you have to sell within, you've owned the house 2 years and then you have to sell it, you have to pay back a significant chunk of that $10,000. And what they don't tell you is that it's at a pretty high interest rate. It's like 14 or 15% interest. So, there's been instances where people, close on that deal. They get the MSHDA down payment assistance. They have to sell. Their circumstances change. They get transferred. Whatever the case may be, they have to sell their house 6 months later. They might not be able to, because at that point, if the market shifts and there's not positive equity in that house, you might owe more on it than you actually paid, just because that MSHDA down payment assistance is at such a high interest rate. And with this Freddie Mac program that we have available, none of that applies. It's basically, here's 10 grand, go buy a house. There's no strings attached. It doesn't have to be repaid. It's absolutely phenomenal. And if you want to know more about it, call or text me, direct line 586-491-5622. You can also reach out to me at 248-561-6155. Shoot me an email, Werenka@m1realty.net, messenger. Leave a comment down below. I'm easy to get a hold of. I respond quick. And I get it, a lot of people watching this video are not going to be eligible for that program. Maybe you make too much money, maybe you want to buy a house in an area where that's not provided. Totally cool. We still have some excellent options for you, and I'll tell you about it right now. We still have that 1% down conventional mortgage as well. That also requires a 620 credit score, but it's literally exactly what it sounds like, and that's up to $200,000. So what it is that's through United Wholesale Mortgage. They will provide you with $4,000, or they'll basically eat the 2%. It's a 3% down mortgage with United taking care of 2% of it for you. So all you're bringing is 1%. So literally on a $200,000 house, you need to bring $2,000 to put down. Now that's strictly a down payment. That doesn't include closing costs. And in this market, it's a little iffy depending on the area, depending on the house. We still might be able to negotiate seller concessions for you, and they'll cover your closing costs for you. But that's not, realistically, that's not going to be every house in every situation. So you may have to also bring your own closing costs to the table, but it's still saving you quite a bit of money in the long run. And I get it. You might not be eligible for that either. Hey, Derek, I want to buy a $300,000 house. What am I supposed to do then? Well, we've got you covered. Let me tell you about it. We've still got that 2-1 buy down. That has not gone away. That's been about a year now that's been available for people. And what that is a program, again, using seller concessions. And this one's a little easier to negotiate when you talk to the listing agent, at least in my experience, because anybody that's selling a house is going to be in your position as well, where they need to buy one. And this is a fantastic opportunity for them as well. So say you want to buy that $300,000 house. So what we're going to do is offer them $307,000. So that seller is going to still get full price. They're going to give you $7,000 back as a credit, and we're going to use that to buy your rate down for 2 years. So say right now we're right around like 7% is the prevailing interest rate on a 30-year fixed rate conventional mortgage. So what that does, we're going to use that $7,000. That first full year that you're in the house, your rate's going to be 5%. The second year, it's going to adjust to 6%. And it's not till that third year that it goes back up to 7%. And knock on wood, we're going to be in a much different interest rate situation 2 years from now, where you're just going to be able to refinance out of it and refinance into a lower interest rate. The beauty of that program is, say that that first year, you're at a 5% interest rate. Hopefully, and this is kind of what people are predicting, that rates are going to start drifting down here before too long. Say a year from now, we're at 5% or 5.5% or something like that. So rather than have that second year where it adjusts up to 6%, maybe interest rates are already under 6% a year from now. So what you can do is the remainder of the money that's in that account where the seller contributed it to you, we're going to take that money and refinance right now after a year instead of wait 2 years. And that way you just refinance into a 30-year locked in rate and you're set, you're done, and you didn't pay a penny to do it. So that is a fantastic option as well. And Derek, I've been hearing in the media that this is a terrible time to buy. Like, why are we even talking about this right now? Well, don't believe everything you hear. I mean, it's still a seller's market for sure. I've been noticing a little bit of, I don't want to call it weakness in the market because that's not the right word for it, but things are softening up a little bit and making it a little bit easier for buyers to buy. I personally haven't really had any trouble getting any of my buyers under contract so far this year, and I hope it continues like that, but you never know. But so far, we've won, I think, almost every multiple offer situation we've been in. And the reason why we're able to do that, in addition to these awesome programs that we have through M1 Mortgage, we're able to close really, really fast. Like, I had a closing a couple weeks ago in Wyandotte where from literally we got it under contract and we were clear to close 11 days later. That wins us almost every multiple offer situation up against mortgages because almost nobody can close as fast as we can. That puts us competitive with a cash offer as well. A cash offer could probably close in a week, took us 11 days. If that's the situation, I'm going to talk to that listing agent and be like, listen, we can say we outbid that cash offer, like, is it worth it to your seller to wait an extra 4 days to make $4,000 or $5,000 more? Almost every time the answer is going to be yes. So we're definitely, making it advantageous for our buyer clients. It's I'd love it to be back in the days of, a year and a half ago where there's 3% interest rates and it was dirt cheap to buy a house. Those days are gone. I don't anticipate them coming back anytime soon, if ever. So this is the reality that we're in now. Whereas, the big lenders out there are really making a concerted effort to make it easy for you to buy a home. So these are the programs that are available to us that when it's 3% interest rates, we don't need to have cool programs like this. So they're not even available. It's just, is it conventional or FHA or VA? It is what it is. But right now, there's a couple extra hoops to jump through, but we can get you into a house, we can make it affordable, and we can set you up for when the interest rates drop, that you have an ability to just refinance into a like I said, a fixed 30-year rate that's at a little bit lower rate than what we have available to us now. And here's what I'm advising all of my buyers, no matter what price point you're in, no matter where you're looking, no matter what kind of program you're set up for, best practice, have some money saved up in case you need it, like with these 1% down mortgage programs and the $10,000 down payment assistance. Like, you can probably get into a house, not have to pay anything out of pocket, but it's always a best practice. Have a little bit of money saved up, and just be ready. Just have it just in case. First things first, always, is get that pre-approval before you even think about start looking at a house. And the reason why we do that, there's a couple different reasons. Number one, we want to know how much we're approved for, so we know what houses to look at. Number two, say you're don't quite qualify for a conventional mortgage, but you qualify for FHA. Say you're a veteran and you qualify for a VA mortgage instead. We want to, not every house is going to be eligible for FHA or VA. So if it's a fixer-upper, if there's some issues with it, we're probably not going to be looking at those houses, but we need to know that up front so we don't waste your time. And I almost forgot to mention too, with United Wholesale Mortgage, they've lowered their lending requirements for FHA and VA and USDA, which I don't really deal with too many of those. I think I've sold 2 or 3 of them in my entire life because I don't really deal with like rural properties as much. But you used to need a 620 no matter what over at UWM. For FHA and VA, they've lowered that down to a 580 credit score. So if you're not quite at a 620, we can still get you done. We can still get you closed fast, and we can still get you the same great service that you're accustomed to at UWM. So have a little bit of money saved up. Get that pre-approval first. You know your credit. It doesn't hurt to go to like Credit Karma and just check your credit score. That's not going to be the same as a full-on tri-merge hard pull for a mortgage, but that'll give you like an idea of where your credit is really at. And don't sweat it if you're at a 560 or a 500 or a 420. I don't really care. We're going to get you on a path to get your credit built up to the point where you're eligible for a mortgage. I just need you to do your part and follow through on the credit repair. But we work with like literally one of the top 3 credit repair companies in the entire country. I think there's 8,000 credit repair companies in the United States. The company that we work with is in the top 3. They're absolutely phenomenal. Their whole thing is getting you out of credit repair as fast as possible. I think their average turn time is like 5 months, and their model is a little bit different. They just do it for a flat fee, whereas most of these credit repair companies, it's a monthly installment, monthly payment. So it's kind of in their interest to keep you in credit repair as long as possible because they get paid every month. And that's why I don't deal with those kind of companies, because I want the focus to be on actually getting your credit repaired, getting you turned around, and getting you in a position to buy a home and accomplish your real estate goals. That's how we do it. And then the one other thing that I probably don't bring this up as much as I should on these videos, but once we have you under contract, we got you approved for a mortgage. Maybe we already have you under contract. We're heading towards the closing table. Don't buy anything, for the love of God. Don't do anything. Don't change jobs. Don't go to the, take out a credit card at Gardner White and just start, buying furniture for the house. Because if that happens, you might not have a house to buy when it's all said and done. But, I've seen, it wasn't one of my buyers, but I've been at the closing table before where they literally did a verification of employment at the closing table and wouldn't fund it until they got the buyer's boss on the line saying, yeah, they still work there. Like, you never know. So just don't take any chances. Like, don't take any, definitely don't open any credit lines. Don't switch jobs. Don't do anything different until we get you closed. And like I said, with us, that whole mortgage process in a perfect world is only taking 12 to 14 days. It could even be less than that. So it's not like we're going to inconvenience you for a very long time. Well, I hope this helps, guys. I'm super excited about these programs, and I'm sure, let me back up, because with the down payment assistance, and I think also that 1% down mortgage, those are expiring on September 15th. So we have up until that day to actually get approved for them and close. And I think after that, there's like 60 days to close, which is going to be plenty of time. But, that's not going to be around a year from now, or maybe it will, but this iteration of that program is not going to be around for long. So if it's something that you think you are going to want to look into, definitely reach out to me, and I'll put you in touch with our loan officers and, kind of see where you're at. But that being said, if I've learned one thing in the real estate business for being in as long as I have, as soon as one program goes away, there's something else that follows to take its place before too long. So even if these programs aren't available when you're ready to start looking at homes and get pre-approved, something else pretty solid will be there in its place. I just don't know what it is yet. But one thing I know for sure is you're going to know about it as soon as I do, because I will make a video on it and post it. And as always, if you have any questions whatsoever, just reach out to me. Like I said, phone call, text, email, messenger, Facebook, Twitter, post down below in the comments. I'll get back to you very, very quickly. And anything else you guys need, I'm always here for you. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Look forward to working with you and answering any questions that you might have about the real estate market whatsoever in the Metro Detroit area. And we'll talk soon. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great one.